Hey guys, welcome to the video today. I wanted to talk to you guys about the spiritual concept of allowing, right? And this comes from the Abraham Hicks material. It's incredibly important stuff, and it really applies to folks who are awakening and walking their spiritual path in this very, very important time and space that we're walking through right now. As we move toward 2020, I see this as being a big awakening, another movement and another phase of our awakening. We're stepping into a new era next year, right? 2019 has been the era of inner work, has been the year of inner work, right? And I think 2020 is going to be that time when we really start to step out as spiritual leaders and start to show the world what it's about to embody the concepts and the ideals and the things that we talk about in this group, right? Because people are going to start to really ask questions, and we're the ones that are going to steward their consciousness and their awareness into this new awakening, right? But it's so important that we take some time and recognize that people are all on their own path, that we are walking our path. Others are walking theirs, and I'm talking about mainstream society that isn't open to these kinds of concepts, that might call you crazy for talking about this kind of stuff, about crystals and tarot and energy and all that stuff, ETs, all that fun stuff that we love talking about. But mainstream society presents for us the archetype of our past self that was unconscious, right? What's interesting about that is that as we exist in this time and space, and as we are awakening beings and trying to live more consciously with our actions and our words and our deeds and the things we say, we want to see it in the other, that they are on their own path and they're at their own stage of that awakening as well, because they're human as well, right? They have a deep spark of creation within them that is covered by programming that society has put on them, as society has put it on us and continues to try to put it on us. But as we begin to shed that programming, we start to allow that spark to grow into a flame. And we're allowing that for ourselves, but sometimes we don't allow the mainstream person, the stranger you see on the street, to walk their path of unconsciousness, working toward consciousness. So the last video I made talked about judgment and how judgment is good in a way for us because it helps us see the shadow of others, and that allows us to coach them out of that shadow into integration of that shadow, right? This video is talking about allowing and saying, okay, there's another side to judgment that isn't good, which says that as you're walking your spiritual path, we have to remind ourselves that we're going to be frustrated by those in society who aren't embodying the same ideals and tenets that we do of an opening heart, of a stewardship of the world, of the earth, right? Of a consciousness of other beings, right? People are living very unconsciously out there, and it is quite frustrating. And I experience it myself, right? I'll have days where I can tolerate people doing the things they do in an unconscious way, and I'll have days where it's really hard for me, and I'll have to work a little bit harder at accepting them and opening my heart. But it is all about the spiritual concept of allowing, okay? The spiritual concept of allowing says that we are all on our own path, and if you judge another for where they are on their path, then you're entangling yourself in their karma, in their story, and you're lowering your vibe to where they might be, right? And you have no idea where they are. Maybe they're just having a bad day, but they really are a spiritual person. You can't put that on them, right? That's not fair. So what we need to do is we need to notice our internal emotions, and go by that. Right? We need to notice that when we feel good, it means that we're speaking, we're doing, or we're thinking in harmony with our intent. And if we feel bad, that means that we might be judging someone else. We might be judging ourselves. We might be working out of accord with our intent. And that's not good either. So we need to shift our intent to what we really want in life, which is to be open-hearted, which is to, shepherd, right, others into a good place of awakening. And that's our goal, right? Like I said earlier, moving into 2020, it's going to be this time, I believe, where we are activated truly as spiritual leaders, and we're going to be the go-to people for those in mainstream society today that are starting to wake up and are starting to have that spark of creation flamed and fanned into a big flame inside of them, and start to see very clearly that there is much more to this world than they thought there was. There is a multidimensional self that they're starting to tap into, and we're the ones that are going to be helping to educate them into that awakening. So what we need to do now in these critical months before 2020 is prepare ourselves by not being triggered by the unconsciousness of others. And the reason we feel triggered by them is because we used to be there, right? And we still are in some ways. There are parts of me that are unconscious. There are parts of you that are unconscious. There are actions that I perform that are unconscious. We're not fully conscious yet, right? And it's hard to be fully conscious in a society that promotes deep unconsciousness, that promotes addiction, that promotes, anxiety and fear at every turn, okay? So we fall back into that, but the most important thing here, guys, is to really love the other for where they are in their journey, recognizing that it is still a divine journey, even if they're living mostly unconsciously. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I wanted to reiterate that these values and these techniques of inner awakening are available in my course, Shadow to Shine Online. It's an 8-week course for empaths and starseeds, star paths, that are walking their journey, that are walking their path to awakening, right? And these are proven techniques of inner work, immersed in a community of other empaths, an intimate community with whom I just got off a call. It's absolutely incredible call, mind-blowing stuff we're talking about in these calls. And I want you guys to be a part of that. The bigger group of From Shadow to Shine, you're all candidates for this course. And if you're interested in this kind of stuff, if this resonates with you, and it should, reach out to me. Stop saying, I don't know if it's time. Stop saying, I'm not sure if this is the path. Stop saying, I don't know if I'm worthy. Stop saying, I don't think I have the money. Doesn't matter, right? You do. You have the willingness. You have the ability to make yourself, to rise to the occasion. You have the ability to do this, and it's your time to be able to do this, okay? So I want to talk to you guys more about it, so reach out to me. I love you guys, and we'll talk soon, okay?